Somewhere between 10 and 14 million waterfowl stop in these wetlands in this area every spring to feed up and get ready to finish their migration north. And because there are so many fewer wetlands now than there were, say, a couple hundred years ago, there's a real concern about making sure there's enough food for the ducks and the geese that are coming through. And if you don't know how much food you can get out of a particular area, you don't know how much total area you need to supply enough food. So that's really where the main part of this comes in, is do we have the area we need to feed the ducks? Most of my research historically has been in prairies. Prairie restoration, prairie ecology type stuff is most of what I did my PhD work on. And I still love prairies, and I want to get back into doing work in prairies. But the more I learn about my research and the more I learn about myself, the more I realize that what I really love doing is only partly about the habitat. It's that I really like helping solve these problems where management could be done better if we had, fill-in-the-blank information. Okay, let's go get it. If you look around behind you, all of this grass, not this tall stuff, this is a native wetland plant, but the vast majority of the grass you actually see out here is an invasive species. Really, it basically comes down to how big of a benefit there is for grazing. If you're doing grazing to manage the invasive species, which is what's done on a lot of these wetlands, what impact does that management have on seed production? So what we have here is there's grazing going on in this area, and we've actually put fences up at different times throughout the summer to simulate, well, if the cattle were removed from this site at a particular time, how does the impact that the cattle have differ by when the grazing takes place? This project is really the first attempt to actually quantify seed production in the Rainwater Basin area. Nobody's done it. The seed production estimates they're using currently were mostly done in like the Mississippi River Valley, because frankly this is kind of a pain. It takes a lot of time both to do the collections and then to process the seeds afterwards, so you're getting just the seed weight and not all the extra plant material and leaves and petals and stems and everything else. So that's what we'll spend most of the winter doing. So this year, 2010, we collected 1,408 envelopes of seeds. And then they go into boxes that are stored until we get a chance to process them. And the processing is incredibly boring and labor intensive, which makes me tremendously grateful that I have undergrads working for me, because they have been a phenomenal part of making this project possible. But the research things that I'm most interested in are basically issues of applied ecology. I'm interested in using ecology to help solve ecological problems. And often things like management problems, trying to help figure out how to do the best management possible in areas, and trying to help figure out how to achieve goals that are set for different habitats or different management techniques and those sorts of things, and trying to figure out what does and doesn't work and how to do it better.